day, so just trying to relax today. The surgery went really well, and I'm not really in any pain, nothing big. Really sore. It's starting to get sore up around the top of the armpit area, and I don't know, like I worked out too hard and something, and it just sore. But no stabbing pains, no, really sharp twinges or anything. And the local anesthesia lasts for a while, so we're over 24 hours now. We're about halfway through the second day. I got out of there at about, I was out of surgery at about 10:07, according to schedule, and then I was in recovery for a while, hour and a half or so, and I don't like recovery from anesthesia, so I just try to sleep it off, and so I knew I was waking up, and the funny thing was that I can't think straight still because I took a Vicodin just for the mild, just one for Vicodin. I still can't talk. I remember them putting on the mask. I remember them putting the propofol in a little line was in my hand. They had the IV line in my hand. And they numbed it with something, and then they did it with propofol, which makes your hand burn, but you're going to be asleep in a minute anyway, so who cares? And I've experienced this so many times, it's like, whatever. I had no anxiety going into this. I kept thinking maybe I would at some point, but I never did. Mostly just excited to, be on the path and excited to start getting things done. So I felt really good about it, and it was very positive. And the nurses and everybody, the doctors, they were all, even the CNAs, they were all so positive and lovely, and nothing but a good time. And I joked around with them when I could think too, and I had one ready. I had one funny one ready for when I came out of anesthesia. And so the first person who was there kind of got that one, and it was, I think her name was Maria. And I started asking her about her tattoos and stuff, and she had some nice ink. And then I said, so, tell me the honest truth. Did everything go well? Was my breast reduction successful? Do I have a flat chest again? And she looked at me like, and I could see the look of concern and then the irritation, and I just said, I'm just messing with you, I thought it would be funny. And then she's all, oh, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, I know, cringeworthy. And then I did that to two more people. And the second one thought it was hilarious. I don't remember who she was. And the third one didn't know. She was, oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at your chart, Like, God. So I butchered that joke 3 times. And all I could think about was like on the Roseanne show where she gets a breast reduction and she wakes up from anesthesia and her breasts are enormous and sticking out like, a witch's hat, it's all this big pointy and of course she's like, doctor, why is this wrong? And of course it's Doogie Howser, and he walks in and says, oh, we made them real nice, they're bigger than they were before. So that's what I could think of, was trying to mess with the nurses a little, but they're there to do a job. They don't need a comedian in there with them. So this chair, I'm just doing this with my foot. Clearly my hands are right here. I don't have to do anything. There's a little bar at the bottom of this. It's called a zero gravity chair. I'm using my weight to kind of do it now. And my friend let me borrow it. She takes it camping a lot. So I borrowed it from her for the office so I can be here and answer emails at work and stuff. Because what am I going to do? Sit at home all day? Might as well sit at work and have some people I can talk to. So I cleaned out the corner of my office next to my cubicle, and I have my little zero gravity chair. Very few people come back here, so it's no big deal. And I had lost my train of thought. I don't know. It's just really comfortable. I took a nap already, and the receptionist / office manager came in and was trying to talk to me, and then I was just kind of half asleep. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up. And I'm like, I know, I'm working so hard at looking at the inside of my eyelids. But everyone's been so nice, and other than, kind of feels like they're up here. like for some reason it's really like the, I don't know, they strapped it with ace bandage and some gauze to keep them, and I think that's to keep the implants away from the area where the incision is. The incisions are kind of down here. I think it's a 40 millimeter wide incision, you know, a little less than the length of your finger. That's about right, length of your finger. And I'm gonna get comfy. And one there on that side, one there on this side, and then they take this L-shaped shoehorn deal and they get in there and get under the muscle and shape it out, and they just kind of twist the shoehorn thing around to clear out the muscle tissue and then lift it. And when they lift it, you know, they flood it with, I don't know, some kind of disinfectant and stuff. And I know that they wash the implant with disinfectant and then they just kind of slide it in there from underneath. You know, so they have it and they just kind of put it up into the incision and then it ends up there. And I can understand how, since the incision's down there held with Steri-Strip, you don't want the implant down there trying to force the wound channel open. So seems to me they did the right thing. So they do feel a little high. And I know they can be adjusted down once the ace bandage comes off. I think I get to take it off tomorrow. And so if they have to be adjusted, the doctor will just kind of nudge them where they go, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think they're too big. I don't think they're too small. I think I'm right where I want to be, and I'm hoping that, you know, a C cup will work really well and be very, very average. It'll help me blend into a great deal. Obviously, I have no makeup on whatsoever. I need to go. I'm going to go to my electrologist on Saturday for certain, because I could feel like I could go on Thursday, but I think I'm going to wait, recover more, get some things done here at home and stuff. And so I'm going to adjust this. There, that's better. I haven't washed my hair either. Poor hair. It's all right. The lack of pain is interesting. I'm not sure why it's like that. But they don't hurt. They're sore. It feels like I did 1,000,000 push-ups. You know, they're like a little achy, but I don't know. It seemed really easy. Of all the surgeries I've had, and I've had a lot, this must by far the easiest one. I mean, if anyone's worried about top surgery, this is under the muscle and stuff too, so it's supposed to be the most, you know, owie one, but I'm not having much owie. I'm just tired. So I'm really tired, and I'm sore, and I'm doing my best to keep my arms to my side, kind of do the little T-Rex deal. You gotta be a little T-Rex for a while so you're not reaching and things like that. You don't want things to shift out of place. And so I'm T-Rexing it, and trying to rest as much as possible. When you're recovering from surgery, the very, very best thing you can do is just, you know, relax and do what the doctor tells you to do. Let things heal. And in order to heal and heal well, you need rest, you need fluids, you need to be in a positive frame of mind. And I feel like all those are happening pretty well for me right now, so I'm pretty good. I'm liking what's going on. The only thing I didn't like was the intubation tube that they put down your throat. It makes your throat sore, and you know, and I sound gravelly, and my voice is all super deep, and it's like, but whatever, it's the way it goes. All in all, very easy procedure. I go back in a few days and check everything out again. Maybe he'll adjust where they are or something, and it seems really nice, actually. I waited so long. This is something that has just been a long time coming. And other than just being on hormones and electrolysis, this is the first of the 4 surgeries, and it's happening, and it's very positive, and it makes me very happy. Next will be FFS, about 5 months from now. And that for me is probably the biggest one, because it really changes the game. They'll move my hairline down a 1/2 inch. They'll move my brow line up a 1/2 inch. They'll shave the brow ridge. They won't do anything to my nose or my jaw. You know, my jaw is, you know, pretty much fine. It's rather triangle anyway. They'll do a lip lift, where they make an incision under the nostrils and around the corner there, and they'll just bring that top lip up a little, and it'll expose some top teeth. You know, when I talk, you don't see a lot of top teeth. Well, that's a very masculine trait. And I have a lot of distance between my nose and my lip. That's a masculine trait, which also makes my top lip seem to be very, very thin. All of those things will help, but you have to be done with your electrolysis on your face before you can go and do that, because there's so much follicular matter in your face, especially in your top lip, that it actually changes the shape. And instead of being concave like a woman's lip would be, it's with all that follicular matter, it's rather convex. Mine's gone flat now because I've had that lip stripped out like 5 times. Probably needed another 5 times before it's really gone. But there's a lot of dormant hair, and it just keeps coming back. So the other thing they'll do with my face is a little lipo. So they'll take a little out of my tummy or something, I suppose, and they will spin it in a centrifuge and make it nice, and all the live cells, they'll take those and they'll inject them into my cheek. Again, it's my materials. It's no foreign body materials. It comes right out of me and goes back in. So they'll volumize my cheeks and make them a little more feminine. And then the other option is, out of this strip of dermal material that they remove from my forehead, they can take a little spaghetti strand of that, and they could even shape it a little. So it's like, looks like a little mustache kind of, so that the top lip will have, you know, a little hollow spot, and then it'll be thicker through here, which will make it, you know, I don't know, more pronounced as far as, you know, the shape of it. It's not just filled indiscriminately, it has a shape to it. And the bottom one, I'm assuming they just make a spaghetti strand and they just lace it in and pull it across, and then again, it's your own dermal materials. So you don't have to worry about rejection or anything of that nature, and it just grows into you. So you don't have to have multiple procedures every now and then your lips need to be plumped back up or something. So mine will be permanent. And it really changes the game. So the facial feminization surgery will be a big, big change for me. I'll have been closely done with the electrologist in that area, and then I won't have to worry about visible shadow for facial hair, which will be really nice. Most of the work that I need to do now is under my chin and down my neck. We've gone ear to ear, and there's still some stuff going on, but it's nothing like it once was. And the top lip, it comes back so much, you know. It's surprising how much it comes back, but it just wants to keep growing hair. So it does. And the funny part is, once they're done with my face, well, not even done, once 4 hours is like, there's nothing more you can do, and you have, so you get done in 2 hours or something, there's nothing more they can do. Well, that means as soon as we get to that level, then they got to go, and electrolysis has to go downstairs in preparation for vaginoplasty, because you've got to defer the everything, and it takes time. I mean, it takes 6 months to a year to do that as well. But I'm doing double dipping on that as well, twice a week, 4 hours. So I do a lot more than the common patient does. So I don't think my timelines will be that bad. But anyway, I wanted to share all that information and let you know I'm doing really well, and that I'm not in much pain at all. We'll try to get some better images of this stuff once it settles down. It'll be a few weeks. Hopefully one of the bras that I bought will work just right. I got 2 C's and 2 D's with front closure, so I don't have to do things over my head. It's hard. I can do it. I can lift my arms up, but they tell you not to, so I don't want to push anything. In fact, I'm supposed to have them at my sides. So we'll see what happens. So one last chant on the details, right? 450 cc silicone gel implants. They're a gel, which means they're not going to migrate into the bloodstream if ruptured. They're incredibly tough. They're under the muscle, so the likelihood of having a problem with them is extremely low. I know a lot of people say the silicone ones have problems or can get in your bloodstream or cause cancer. Well, this isn't a liquid. It's a gel, and it doesn't have the ability to be introduced into the bloodstream. It's just going to stay where it is in its cavity, and it can be removed, flushed out, and replaced as a reconstruction or whatever they want to do. Since it's under the muscle, there's a benefit. Over the muscle, you can get what's called capsular contracture, where it starts tightening up around the implant and develops scar tissue. And it's commonly known that you're supposed to massage the implant up and down, back and forth, to keep that pocket, open, so that it doesn't do that. So you have to, provide your own massage every day, several times a day and stuff, to make sure that never happens. And with under muscle, every time you use your muscle to do anything, your muscle is massaging that area. And the chance of capsular contracture under muscle is very, very low. And above the muscle is much higher. Like, I want to say, I saw it said something like 30%, and I'm like, uh-oh, I don't need that. So under muscle actually also provides kind of like a built-in bra. It looks more natural from what I've seen in many descriptions, and it has the added benefit of kind of self-massaging the pocket and the implant and everything. So it's a win-win. It's supposed to be tougher. I'm being told I most likely will never need to, take it out in 10 years or anything like that. Just as long as it doesn't have any trouble, just leave it alone. I like that idea, So 450cc implant. It's round. There's no profile. It looks like it looks like a jelly donut, a big one. It's clear, and it was placed under muscle with an under breast incision. It took exactly 100. Well, it's slated to take exactly 127 minutes for the surgery. I think mine was quicker. I think it was more like an hour and a half rather than 2 hours and a few minutes. Got to the hospital at 6:15, went to admissions and took care of the paperwork, hung out for a little while, then I went and got ready, changed into the gown and stuff, and they checked my blood pressure and everything else, and I chit-chatted with the nurses, and it was fun, and got to know a few people. Then they sent me down to the they sent me down to the surgical suite, and we transferred tables, and I talked to everyone there, and then they started anesthesia, and they strapped my arms to each side, and then they gave me a seatbelt, because it's kind of a narrow table. You got to make sure you're in the middle of it. And by the time the mask was on, I kind of know the smell of the initial anesthetic, so it kind of reminds me of methylene chloride, something I work with at work. It's not exactly the same. Methylene chloride's nasty, but it has a certain smell. And I knew I was going to go out, so I just kind of relaxed and waited for it. I could feel the propofol burning my hand where the needle was and everything, and it's like, I felt that before. I know what it is, and I know it goes away quick because you're just going to be asleep in a minute. So, and they were asking, "Are you all right? Is your hand burning?" I'm like, "That's fine." Right on. And the only thing I didn't like was the intubation tube scratching at my throat. It makes me gravelly. So no makeup was kind of not fun, but you know what? It's not the big deal. These are doctors and surgeons. They know what everything is. I'm not worried about it. It's making my voice sound ever so slightly not nice, but that'll go away in a few days. Not worried about it. Anyway, I'm going to go back to sleeping now. So I'm going to take a nap. See everybody. I'll see you next one. And hopefully in a day or two I can give you a better view of what they look like not strapped down with an ace bandage. So, nighty-nighty.